Great. So good afternoon. Hi, Ellen. My name is Olivia, and I'm the Director of Programs for the CLEO Institute, and I'm joined today by CLEO's founder, Caroline Lewis.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks, Olivia. Hi, Ellen. Hi, students. I'm just very grateful, Ellen, that you're still working your magic and having that ripple effect in society. So keep up the good work. So Olivia and I picked a couple questions. She's going to feed me them, and then I'm going to respond to them, and hopefully that'll give you, Ellen, and your students a sense of what we're doing at CLEO, why we're doing it, and how we think it's going. So take it away, Olivia.
Great. So what precipitated your decision to focus on climate change and climate change engagement when you founded CLEO?
So back in 2010, I am a science teacher and a high school principal by trade. And I had just spent some time at Fairchild Garden creating outreach programs that scaled very quickly, engaging very disengaged audiences in the environment. So in wanting to form a nonprofit, I wasn't sure if to focus on the environment in general or climate in particular. And the local climate scientists here really sat me down and made an urgent plea that we take on the climate change and we amplify the conversation and we bridge the divide between science and society on the urgency of what the climate science is telling us. So long story short, CLEO stands for Climate Leadership Engagement Opportunities. And what we did when we formed CLEO, and it really was just in my living room with me and a vision and a bunch of very, very dedicated board members who wanted to see this thing succeed. And the concept of CLEO from the very beginning was to educate the masses. And my definition of education comes from William Butler Yeats, who says that education is not the filling of a pail, it is the lighting of a fire. So we weren't designing the CLEO Institute just to dump information on the public, but to educate them for engagement, to provoke them to ask more questions or to seek more information and self-educate. So CLEO's role from the beginning, and it has evolved with great intensity, still in that same direction, is to promote, provoke, and celebrate people's engagement in the climate conversation. Because we do this top down and bottom up simultaneously. And by that I mean that we look at engaging people that are elected officials driving policy, as well as frontline communities who are trying to advocate, hopefully in their own interests. So our mission was great. It was about educating the masses on the science, the serious effects, and the solutions to the climate crisis, and to sort of let everyone get that little fire in their belly to decide what their next step is. So rather than script everybody for a desired outcome, we said broadly the desired outcome is that you be more educated and more engaged. And the way you get there is up to you and the speed with which you want this journey to continue. And we've been very, very pleased with the effect that CLEO has been having in the community over the past 10 years. We're in our 11th year right now, and it's very exciting to see the growth and the number of audiences we've been able to reach.
Thank you, Caroline. And sort of really quickly, what is your vision of the world that you would like to create by virtue of CLEO's mission?
Well, if we're successful, if the CLEO Institute accomplishes its goal, we wouldn't need to exist. So my goal is for CLEO not to need to exist because the whole world is educated and fully engaged on the climate crisis and our role as humanity in preserving a livable world, not just for humankind, but for biodiversity at large. And so the ultimate vision is a very educated and very engaged citizenry, not just in the United States, but around the world.
Thanks. And that's a really great segue to our last question, which is, what are some of the actions that you wish your listeners today would take at any level, whether personal, in their community, political, social, to help fight the climate crisis?
Yeah, people think that the climate crisis is so large, what can I do? Well, I gotta tell you, the way you eat an elephant is one bite at a time. But the way you understand your role in the climate crisis is first and foremost understanding your power to influence change. You have circles of influence, every one of you, every one of us, our family, our colleagues, our soccer team, our softball team, whatever we do in life. We have people we hang with, people we like or who like us, and those circles need to hear your voice. And so I would say the first two things you need to do is understand your power and become much more climate literate. Just keep studying the information, keep reading the articles, so you're connecting the dots between a warming world and not just sea level rise, but food and water and heat and health vulnerability, about migration pattern changes, and so many things that are, you know, we call climate change a threat multiplier, because everything we worry about is amplified and the need to worry is enhanced because of the climate crisis. And so move up on your journey to climate literacy. If you're on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're a 4 in your climate knowledge, try and get to a 5 or a 6 or a 7. So keep studying and reading and asking questions. And then on your engagement scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I don't talk to anybody about it, and 10 being I don't shut up about it, try to move along that line too, to see what your ripple effect could be in the communities and in the groups of influence that you have. The other thing you need to do is understand the power of not just your mouth, your voice, but your purse. So that when you spend money, you really are choosing the kind of world you want to live in, where you're directing those funds. So if you have the time and capacity, research where you're buying from and whom you're buying from and what you're buying, so that your carbon footprint is lowered and you are directing an economy that is trying to do the right thing, make money doing the right thing. And I think that that would really help move us along tremendously. The power of your voice and your ability to influence others, the power of your purse and how you spend money, and the power of your vote. And by the power of your vote, I mean, in this day and age, we cannot be electing people that deny climate science. We have to elect people that heed the climate science, that let science inform policy. So I would say to you, if you are inclined to vote for Donald Trump, then your task is to get the Trump administration to better understand the crisis for what it is, to see climate change as settled science, and to take bold action to turn this wheel. And if you're not sure who you want to support, then look up their record on climate change and climate action and make an informed decision, because without the political and economic will, all the good deeds, all the light bulbs we change will not make a difference. We really need all of us to make sure elected officials understand the need to heed the science. And in that vein, I will end by saying, if you have any inclination of running for office, do it. Because it's people like you and me that really need to run local government to get all those little hamster wheels going in the same direction, and then up in Congress, and then throughout the world. So take a big bite out of it. You know, I always like to use this quote, which I heard about a year or two ago, and I haven't stopped quoting it. And it says that people tell you not to bite off more than you can chew. And my answer is, well, hell, I'd rather choke on greatness than nibble on mediocrity. So I leave you with the thought of take a big bite out of it and start chewing. Thanks so much
Thank
for
you,
inviting me
Caroline.
to share this.
Thank you so much. And if you want to find out more about CLEO, go to our website at cleoinstitute.org, or you can email us at info@cleoinstitute.org.
Thank you.